to do. But on that subject and on the Jew subject, because like it's hard to even escape this subject with just how prevalent it is. So Elon goes and unbans Trump. And I already said that what's going to happen here is the ADL, who had already tried to blackmail Elon in saying that they're going to go after his ad revenue and create an ad boycott. You know, that's been happening over the last couple weeks already. And so immediately, right after Donald Trump gets back on Twitter, guess who has to chime in with his opinion? Jonathan Greenblatt, who is the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League. He's the head honcho of the ADL. He's the head Jew. For Elon Musk to allow Donald Trump back on Twitter, ostensibly after a brief poll, shows he is not remotely serious about safeguarding the platform from hate, harassment, and misinformation. But that's not all he had to say. He has some more moral condemnation to do, because that's just what he gets. That is his full-time job, is moral condemnation. You know, he just sits around judging other people all day long. That's his job. That's the organization he built. Which I want to say, let's just pause and imagine how sad of a life that is. Imagine me as a Christian. I don't like it when people talk badly about my religion. I wish they wouldn't. I don't try to like go and call the police, and I don't try to have their bank accounts turned off, and I don't try to get them fired from their job when they talk bad about Christianity or Christians. So could you imagine, just for a second, me spending all of my productive hours in my workday like sitting on some piece of software, this search software, that automatically bubbles up a notification every time somebody on social media posts something negative about Christianity. And me like, oh, there you go. Look at that celebrity that just said something bad about Christianity. Okay, quick, get the research team on it. Find out who their sponsorships are, who's paying their paychecks, see what's going on with their family, and if there's a way we can leverage that against them. Like, this shit is just disgusting. Is this how you spend your free time? You see this as productive? You see this as helpful to society? To sit around all day trying to figure out who you can cancel because they have problems with your religion? It's a sad existence. So I mean, I can read you some more of this. Which is the best exercise to do for a first timer? Snug 32. There's no single exercise you should do, but I can get you down to like 3, which would be squat, bench, and deadlift. You do those 3, you'll be in really, really good shape for just starting things out. Those are the 3 most important compound movements that basically hit all the muscle groups in the body if you just do those 3. Okay, so more of this Jonathan Greenblatt rant. You know, you talk about Kanye going on a rant. It's pretty funny. You know, when Kanye goes on a rant, it's like discombobulated. I'm a little bit sleepy. But when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on the Jews. You guys have pushed me too much. It's like this, you know, it's kind of stream of consciousness, average guy thought. But when a Jew goes on a rant, they've probably sent it to an editor and sent it to HR, and they optimize the emotional manipulation that they can include in a brief statement. Like, seriously, a 2-sentence statement will have you thinking that somebody just actually committed a Holocaust. Like, they have already killed millions of people. That's what you would think based on the 2 sentences that Jonathan Greenblatt writes per tweet. So when the ADL and other hashtag Stop Hate for Profit leaders met with Elon Musk on 11/1, he committed to not replatform anyone, regardless of stature, until he installed a transparent, clear process that took into consideration the views of civil society. Elon's decisions over the last month have been erratic and alarming, but this decision is dangerous and a threat to American democracy. We need to ask, is it time for Twitter to go? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You lead a Jewish crybaby organization. You think you get to control whether or not Twitter, a $50 billion company, can exist or not? What kind of authority do you even think that you have? The sad thing is he doesn't have any authority. He has a substantial means of blackmailing people. So he has power. And this is a biblical subject you need to understand. When we talk about power, power in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's how you use your power, right? You can use your power to leverage resources to help people. You can use your power to leverage resources against people and to silence people. And it's very clear which one of those things is happening right now. So I thought that was really amusing. You know, immediately after Trump gets back on, guess who? Mr. ADL himself has a long-winded rant about the harm that Elon has done by allowing Donald Trump to express his constitutionally protected free speech. Look at how much drama there was in the Twitter sphere just over Trump being back on here. And keep in mind, he hasn't even used the platform yet. He hasn't even tweeted anything yet. And this is the emotional overreaction to the crybaby left. Cry-bully left is the more accurate term. So CBS News, we all know, far left. It's not surprising when they come out and push their Marxist views, you know, all of this divisive, black people need to be scared of white people, and women need to be scared of men, and Jews need to be scared of Christians. This is what they do. It's like I said, it's classic Marxism. It's the same formula every single show, every single news article. It's what they do. So when they heard of the cataclysmic event of Donald Trump coming back to Twitter, this was very alarming to them. This was, what's up, Banda? Good to see you in here, man. This was a bad day for CBS. The day Trump came back to Twitter. It's like the movie Halloween for them. You know, it's an ominous shape looking at them from down the road. And they are having a psychological meltdown over the concept of Trump potentially being able to tweet again. And so CBS, before this tweet you're looking at here, they said that they are going to be suspending all activity on Twitter for an indefinite period of time in order to think about whether or not they can support Twitter's business model based on the lax community guidelines that Elon Musk is tolerating. So that it was this virtue signaling. Sorry, I got a little bit of a stuffy nose. It was this virtue signaling. You know, I just don't know if I can be involved with you bad people. You know, you bad people who just want free speech. I'm better than you guys, so I might have to go play in a different sandbox. So they were gone for about 24 hours or less before they found out that you can't really be a news company and not be on Twitter. Shocking. Really shocking. So they had to then make a public acknowledgement saying, after pausing for much of the weekend to assess the security concerns. Security concerns? Are you fucking serious? Security concerns of the former president of the United States being on social media. That's a security concern? CBS News and Stations is resuming its activity on Twitter this is the best part, as we continue to monitor the situation. Is this a fucking hurricane? What do you think? These people's brains are broken. Continue to monitor the situation. Is this like an ongoing mass shooting? No, this is a presidential campaign for the most popular president of all time. It leaves me speechless how flipped these people's worldview is. Wow, look at that. Holy cow. On Twitter trending, died suddenly I think that's actually a documentary that just dropped this weekend, or roughly around this week. I'm sure Dr. Peter McCullough is probably in it, and Dr. Malone as well. Those are probably the two most outspoken against the jab for the last few years now. And now there's a documentary saying there's a new trend in average citizens who are otherwise healthy dying suddenly. And that is the actual explanation on why they died. This inexplicably died suddenly. Okay, that's not an actual cause of death. That didn't used to happen, and it didn't start happening until 2021. So I'm not saying you have to be a rocket scientist to connect the plot points here, but what changed in everybody's veins and blood and immune system in 2021? Keep in mind, COVID, the virus itself, was in 2020. So we all already had the virus. What got added after the virus to our bodies shortly before this spike in people dying suddenly? Hopefully you can read between the lines there and figure it out. So another mass shooting happened on the weekend. This one was apparently in an LGBTQIA plus two-spirit whatever club. And immediately, within a few hours, President Biden called for an assault weapons ban. This stuff is so predictable.